Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Supt Talk. It is our time that we meet with Superintendent Dittberner, ask questions to him, and we also have staff and students from the New Prague area schools, and just keep everybody up to date on what is going on with the New Prague area schools. Once a month, we will bring you the interactive talk with Superintendent Dittberner, and today we have two guests. We have state and national champion clay target shooting Woodrow Glazer, and also a new staff person to the district and the high school, Mr. Kordah. Before we get to our two guests, I would like to introduce Superintendent Mr. Tim Dittberner. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning.
Welcome to the 2018-2019 school year. Maybe just start talking a little bit about how the school year has started, and if there's anything new that our folks should know about.
Yeah, we've been off to a good start here. We had a nice staff celebration at the beginning of the year. We had everyone together. We had the Rotary Club, New Prague Rotary Club came over, and we had a little picnic after our assembly. Yeah, it's been good. Been around all the schools, and things are very positive, and yeah, things are going well.
Well, that's great to hear. Something that a lot of people ask, and I know they do to me a little bit. They'll say, "Tony, what do you guys do in the summertime? What happens behind the scenes at the district office or the buildings in the summertime? Can you just shed a little light on some of the things that go on in the district during the summer months?"
Yeah, I mean, things wrap up in June there, and there's things that need to put closure to. For example, turning in a lot of forms and data to the state Department of Education is one thing. Still a lot of hiring going on in the summer, and then professional development and curriculum work by our staff. We have a lot of teachers coming in the summer and just preparing for the next school year. There's a lot of preparation being done.
So we've definitely had a lot of construction over the past few years. Can you kind of update us maybe a little bit on, was there any construction this last summer, and where are we at with our buildings?
Yeah, I mean, we're still, a few things to finish up with our transportation garage, just on the punch list, stuff like that. But, by and large, with a $58 million project, it's pretty much finished there. The thing we're dealing with right now is the fitness center. And so we got construction beginning there. In fact, it started earlier this week. We're working with the city again to add the fitness component to our aquatic center. So we have a fitness and aquatic center, and our hope is to be open by November 5th. So construction started, we got things ordered with the flooring, machines, doing the whole transition with the current fitness center in New Prague. So we're very excited about that. So it should be a busy next month and a half. All
right. Well, I'd like to tell our guests with that, this is of course the September Supt Talk, but October Supt Talk will have a lot more information on the fitness center, and maybe can even put some things on our district website to talk about membership and those types of things. So we will have lots of information coming on our fitness and aquatic center. Well, at this time, Mr. Dittberner, I'd like to invite our first guest, a repeat guest, and I think our first repeat guest, Mr. Woodrow Glazer, a high school senior here at New Prague, and I'm going to ask Woodrow to just tell us a little bit about himself. Not only is he a state champion, but also a national champion in clay target, and we're going to get to some of that information. But welcome, Woodrow, and tell our guests a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. I've been graced with some pretty good performance in my shooting, and I've been helped out by a lot of good coaches and a lot of good team members in New Prague, and a lot of good teachers and staff members here at the high school. So I'm excited for this year, and I'm looking forward to spending my time here.
Awesome. Mr. Dittberner, got a few questions for him?
It's like Woodrow, this past year you won the state championship, Minnesota State High School League clay target. When we say clay target, some people know it as trap shooting, but that's high school league started sponsoring this activity, this sport 3 years ago. We had a club team before that competing. Tell me what it was like at the state tournament. You tied for first because they don't have a shoot-off or a playoff, but a team finished second place. Tell us about the whole state meet. How exciting was that?
Yeah, the team performance, which was really the thing that surprised me the most. It was me and Levi Chandler are on the team that we both had 100 straights in the event, and we had some really high scores in the upper 90s. I believe we finished somewhere in the 480s out of 500, and we took third. And a bunch of good kids that I know from other teams and other schools broke the hundreds in the individual competitions. So I think it was a good state meet, and I think it was fun, and we had good team members.
And now, you were, going back to 2016, so you were a sophomore when we won the state as a team.
Yes.
And then last year, or when you were junior, we didn't qualify, so we took second, and you've been a state champion now. Tell us about nationals. You go to nationals this summer, you win the national championship. There was a shoot-off because there was a tie. Unlike the high school league, you do have a shoot-off. Talk about that experience, where it was at, and the amount of competitors there and stuff like that.
Yeah, this year the team took second in the national competition among a lot of really good teams from across the country, which I was really happy about. And then the performance from everyone on the team, we had multiple 100 straights from everyone on our team. I broke the 200 in the national individual competitions, and I shot off with I believe 2 other guys from Minnesota who I know are really good shooters and really strong competitors.
Yeah, and they had a really nice article about you in the Star Tribune. That was really cool to see, and got a lot of publicity over social media. I mean, we were just very proud of you and our whole clay target shooting program. I mean, it's new, but it's probably the fastest growing Minnesota State High School sponsored activity. In fact, nationwide now, it's growing. I mean, how many kids do we have on our team right now? I mean, approximately.
I believe this last year we had, I'm not entirely sure, but we had roughly anywhere from 50 to 70 kids, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Around 60 kids that we had participate in that, which is great. What does it look for this year? Come this spring, you think we have a pretty good shot to compete with the very best, or?
Yeah, I think we do. We have a lot of good seniors on our team. I know a lot of good guys, a lot of good girls who are really strong competitors, and if we just keep practicing and keep up the work ethic, then I think we'll have no problem competing at the national level.
We should mention too, yeah, it is a co-ed sport, so it's both boys and girls, and like I said, very fast growing. How about you personally right now? What are you looking at, your plans for the future here? Any type of schooling, or what are you thinking about next year?
I'm looking at a couple colleges to go compete on their shooting teams. Really, right now I'm just focusing on my academics, keep those up so that way I can apply to some of the tougher schools.
And so, what's some of your favorite subject areas of classes, teachers? How are things going, as a student here?
Things as a student, going pretty well, pretty streamlined. I'm taking some pretty tough, challenging college courses. I think those are going to be really helpful in my schooling in the future. It'll be nice to save some of the tuition money too.
You bet. Some of the concurrent classes where we have a New Prague here where you get credit for both. That's a good thing. So.
Well, Woodrow, we want to thank you very much for being here for a second time. You've had a very storied career in the clay target in New Prague, and I do want to just give another shout out to a lot of your teammates. It's been a wonderful team atmosphere and a very storied career for our teammates too in that clay target, and you guys have done just a wonderful job. So congratulations to everything that you did last year with the state and the national championship, and best of luck to you and the team this spring.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Have a great rest of the school year.
You too.
Welcome back to Supt Talk, everyone, and we'd like to thank our first guest, Mr. Woodrow Glazer, who did such a great job and is just a great student athlete for the New Prague area schools, and we love to highlight those students. Now, for our second guest, we'd like to introduce Mr. Gospel Kordah, and Gospel is a new staff member here at the New Prague High School and within our district. Welcome to Supt Talk, Gospel.
Thank you.
Why don't you just start off and just tell us a little bit about yourself, both personally and professionally, and kind of the route you took to get to the New Prague schools now.
All right. Well, I think personally, very much like a people person. I love being around people. I love kids, and I think for me personally, the one thing that I enjoy doing outside of work and everything else is soccer, and I think that kind of led to how I ended up in New Prague. Coming here to be the boys' head soccer coach, and then eventually working on some different things in terms of diversity and equity within the district. So it's been a journey. Yeah.
Well, welcome. We should tell our folks that are watching, Gospel is our boys soccer coach. He is a high school dean of students and then also equity coordinator for the entire district. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit now. And I know Mr. Dittmer has got some questions for you to kind of just help our viewers. We'd love to introduce our new staff and just kind of let people know who's been brought into the district and why they're here.
Yeah, well, just one little fun fact about Gospel. I always say this, he was went to St. Louis Park High School.
Yep.
And was both a high school soccer player and football player at the same time, right?
Yep.
You alternated, you went 2 practices a day.
Yeah.
And had quite the experience there, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, well, Gospel, what's been like now? We've gone a couple weeks here into the school year. What's your impression? How do you talk about things, how things are going?
I think it's been very positive. It's been a positive transition. It's been a positive experience, not only at the high school, but in all other buildings as I go around to other buildings to work with the staff and students there. As a parent that has a child within the district, it's been really well. The communication with the teacher and parent is exceptional, and I think that's. My wife and I, we both talk about that every night, and it kind of helps us go to sleep a little easier because we know exactly what's going on with our kid in the district, and so that's been very positive. I think for me, being part of something bigger than just my position has been very good. I mean, I've worked in schools before, but never as involved as I am now, and I think that's been. That helps me out throughout the day. I think, at times I just want to stay a little longer just to help out in whatever areas that I can, because I just being part of the atmosphere, the community has been a very positive change. And, throughout the school days, working with the teachers and the students has been very, very positive as well. So it's one that I have not seen before, and I'm excited for it. And I'm grateful that not only I get to experience it, but my entire family gets to experience it as well.
Right.
So,
yeah, you just built a house, we'll just say south of town.
Yeah.
You have 2 daughters?
yes, I do.
And how old are they?
I've got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old.
And the 7-year-old goes to Raven Street?
Falcon Ridge.
Oh, Falcon Ridge. Okay,
Yes.
Falcon Ridge. So first grade, second grade? What is it?
Second grade.
Second grade.
With Miss Lusky.
Okay, got
So
it.
Miss Lusky's doing just a great job with it. Yeah.
Wonderful to
That's
hear.
awesome.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about your position here in the district here. We're not going to get into percentages, but you're in the high school, the dean of students.
Yep.
And then you're also the district equity coordinator. Why don't you talk about your roles and responsibilities with both of those areas?
Yep. I think, as a dean of students, what we wanted to focus on as an admin team at the high school is the 2 deans and the assistant principal taking care of all of the discipline and all of the restructuring of things within the high school when it relates to students and school culture specifically. I think the head principal, what we talked about with Ms. Adams was to make sure that she's able to work specifically with staff and not worry so much about the different dynamics and different changes that goes on with students and what goes on with school culture. Yes, she still will work with students, but we wanted to take on the bulk of those tasks as it comes up. And I think, as a dean, I think our goal is to try to restructure the school culture a little bit to what's more conducive to a safe learning environment. And I think, every building strives to get that. But I think we've got an interesting group, whereas we're actually using our, we're not afraid to use our skills and talents to make things happen. And I think that's been a very great, positive transition. For me personally, this was my first year within the district, so I think it's been good to work with like-minded staff and the ones that are always student first. What can we do to meet needs of families and also students, and just making sure that our students feel comfortable and feel safe to be here. So it's been great.
Good, good. And you're also, like you said earlier, it's not just, you do a lot of your work here at the high school, but you're also working with staff and students at each of the other buildings too.
Yeah.
So,
and with the equity role, like you mentioned, I work district-wide, and so making sure that we're still aligned with what we want to do, with direction-wise throughout the district, making sure that it's not just a position created just so we can put a check in a box, but being intentional to making sure we're serving all of our students and we're supporting all of our students and families in a way that it's more inviting for them to come in and work and partner with us as an educational institution, but also we want to see them where they are as families and communities as well. So
good. And then boys soccer, coach, how's the soccer season going so far?
Soccer's going well. There's a lot of growth going on. I think we always, right now, I feel like we're at the point where we can compete with other top teams and big teams that we play against. And I know my first year here as the soccer coach, a lot of the things that the boys would say is, well, we're going to go lose 10-0, and here we go again. And so I think right now, developing some things, I think they're really confident playing competitively, even if we lose. And so that's where the growth takes place, and I'm very excited for that. And I'm happy that they're taking it on and saying, okay, we're not just gonna play down and lose. We're gonna fight for this a little bit. So it's been great. I've got great captains. We've got junior captains for the lower levels now to help lead those groups as we come up as well. And so we're doing well. We're growing. We're getting better. So that's what it's all about at this point.
Good.
So, Gospel, I've heard a lot of wonderful things from parents and fans about your work with the soccer, and I just want to kind of talk a little bit about that relationship and communication as your job as the equity coordinator and even the dean, as you continue to work with people within the district, if they would like to reach out or visit with you at some point in time, and that is something that's available for parents, as we have a number of viewers watch the Supt Talks. What's the best way to maybe get a hold of you if they've got some questions about their child or something like that in the area of equity or diversity?
Yeah, I think the best way has been through email, or I've got some parents that give me phone calls with different times, when they get home, maybe at 6 o'clock at nighttime or whatever. I got parents that call me sometimes to just kind of work through how the day went and things like that. So those form of communication happens after the first initial, meeting or emails or whatever it may be. They can always find my contact information on the website, on the high school website. So they have all of that information. And then I believe my phone is on the school website as well. So they can always get in contact with me through that way. I always carry my cell phone with me. So I've had parents that are in contact with me with my cell phone as well. So there's many ways to get a hold of me. If they're not able to, they can either go through athletics to get in contact with me, or go through the main office to get in contact with me.
All right.
Wonderful.
Well, good. Well, looking forward. Great to have you part of the New Prague family, and I know, it's going to be a great year, all around. So very happy.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Gus, for being with us, and congratulations and good luck in the new position. And we'll be working very closely together. And as we have said, a district employee for all of our districts, elementaries. Gospel has been around to all of our schools and has spoken to staff members. And we'll definitely speak with student groups. So you'll see him throughout the district, like most all of our employees, and just doing a lot of good things for our students and staff. So we thank you very much for being with us. We thank you for being with us today, and we thank Mr. Detburner for his time, Woodrow Glazer, Gospel, and we look forward to the October Supt Talk. And signing off, have a great September, everyone, and welcome to the 2018-19 school year.